I think we can all remember the moment the pandemic felt the most real. For me, it was when campus closed. I was on the beach, finishing up an article with my co-editor, being distracted by the setting sun and the evening winds. Minutes after the email was sent, the lawn was a scene of mass celebration. Screaming, cheering, high-velocity hugging. Classes were all canceled, and a lucky few escaped the impending doom of midterms, not knowing that they would be trading the anxiety of school for a more global threat. Like everyone else, we were forced indoors. The birds seemed louder. Every week there was a new article about deer or coyotes or geese reclaiming the land civilization had stolen. And with no lecture halls to fill, no shops to frequent, and no eateries to indulge at, there was nothing left to do than meet with nature. Study after study has shown that this intuition was wise. Nature's value is both inherent and therapeutic. Luckily for those of us social distancing near campus, there are several natural spaces within walking distance. Druid Hill Park, home to the Maryland Zoo, is around a 20-minute walk from campus, passing by the Jones Falls Trail. The Wyman Park Dell, just across the street from the now shuttered newsletter headquarters, is a small space occasionally visited by worker goats. Sherwood Gardens is a popular photo op and picnicking space. But out of all the parks that surround Charles Village, there's perhaps none as frequented, cherished, and explored by Hopkins students and residents of the watershed than the Stony Run, a small urban stream that runs directly behind campus. Starting from the entrance on San Martin Drive, there is one last reminder of current affairs before a steep descent, made steeper by Baltimore's rainy days. The Stony Run exists in a valley of pebbles and wet leaves. The fall line passes straight through Maryland, and this valley was created over 400 million years ago in an orogeny that tore the earth apart. The chasm it created then became a system of streams and rivers that colonies and then mills would form around. Were it not for the impartial movement of plates and the untroubled subduction of sediments before humanity was even thought about, we may not have Hopkins, or Hamden, or Baltimore as we know it. This knowledge makes the rain and mud a bit more enchanting, and the belief that our lives have meaning seem somehow less delusional. Even on the gloomiest day, the Stony Run offers reminders of why we should be joyous, even when our minds are bathing in a cacophony of problems, both personal and universal. The first is this bench, which reminds us that the earth has music for those who listen. Continuing down the path, you will find yourself at a bridge, the entrance to the territory of feelings. It is home to two relatable ladies and a turtle called Marvin. The art here is an anthropogenic stain on a landscape dominated by non-humans, but it's also a reminder that even in a space that seems desolate and where the sun seems like a distant memory, we exist among colors and community. Today the stream is excited by the rain. It tumbles over the rocks with a special sort of glee. The water is murky with tumultuous sediments. The trees, young and old, are shaking in the wind. Some have started to fold up their chlorophyll, a decoration not needed for another year, and shed their leaves in preparation for a winter's worth of photosynthetic rest. Others are more ambitious, determined to absorb every last drop of remaining sunlight. Continuing on, we reach a dog park, which is joyous for obvious reasons. I'm reminded of a quote in the poem Existential Good Humor by Jill Gannett. I'm often boggling my mind, or perhaps my mind is boggling me, with these sensations of amazement, where sensations of belonging should belong. If you keep walking past the dog park, you'll arrive at the University Parkway Bridge. There are a few student apartments directly above this bridge, but that's not what makes it special. What makes it special is the roof, stained with soot. The Stony Run Trail was once a railroad that traveled from Maryland to Pennsylvania, known affectionately as the Ma and Pa. There are whole Pinterest boards dedicated to the Ma and Pa. This picture shows an unfortunate derailment under this very bridge. The tracks ran along the Stony Run, even to the lower end. The Wyman Park Bridge has the same suspicious stains of soot. Historical marveling aside, the most palpable benefit of the Stony Run for me is its realness. With every hard, gravelly step and life-threatening stumble, I'm reminded of two things. The first is that change is inevitable. It's been approximately 2 years since I first stumbled upon the random field that is the Stony Run Dog Park. Since then, I have changed, and so has it. And so on each walk, there's something new to look at. The second is, despite all of this seemingly random fluctuation, the life here persists. The trees endure, the moss endures, the people who walk, run, and bike here endure. Even through raging trains, hurricanes, waste dumping, sewage spills, and of course, a pandemic. And so, as we approach Keswick Road, the stream disappears, as all things do, only to our own eyes, to continue its journey out of sight.